Welcome back to another episode of the Statues Podcast. I'm your host, Denang.
And I'm your co-host, Crystal.
For today's episode, we have a clip, so let's go ahead and start with that.
You can buy a house, but not a home. With money, you can buy a clock, but not time. With money, you can buy a bed, but not sleep. With money, you can buy food, but not appetite. With money, you can buy a doctor, but not good health. With money, you can have insurance, but not safety. And this is the problem that we all have. There are things that you cannot buy with material wealth, with money.
Yeah, so that's today's clip. And for today's episode, we called it Money Can't Buy Heart. And I think growing up as Asians, we see money a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of these things that growing up Asian, you hear a lot about from Asian parents where money is going to make you happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And, you know, like I didn't grow up per se with that saying because my parents weren't like that. But I did grow up hearing that a lot from other people. That, work hard so you can be rich so that you can have money. And when you have money, you're going to be the happiest that you'll ever be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a very misleading, just a misleading in general.
Yeah.
Money
can buy you things
to make you comfortable.
Yes, but it cannot buy the emptiness that you feel inside when, like, for example, if you have nobody. Like, it could just, you know, it's like you said, it makes you comfortable and just, you know, like momentary satisfaction. But long term, there's nothing there.
Yeah. And as someone who has worked hard, I've worked over 8 years in the career that I have. And I didn't start seeing a penny until 4 or 5 years in. A lot of what I did was free. And if I were to compare that time period to when I started making money within my career, I was the happiest when I wasn't making money. I was the happiest because, yeah, you know, there was a struggle. There was always going to be this voice in the back of my head that's like, oh, how are you going to survive? Mm-hmm. How are you going to eat? How are you going to, you know, make it out? But even with all that being there, I think one of the happiest moments of my life when I didn't have money was enjoying what I was doing. Just the simple part of enjoyment in everything that I did. You know, that goes back to, you know, even the simple things at working at Rogers. You know, when I was volunteering at Rogers, I did that for 2 years. I did that for 2 years in high school and then another 2 more years in college. And all of it was a volunteer and I had to do an internship, so I did it there too. Mm-hmm. And my time there was the happiest, not because I got paid, but because of the connections that I made and the memories that I made when I was there. Now everything becomes stressful. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm making money, it becomes very stressful where it's like, now that I'm making money doing what I'm doing, how do you make more? How do you survive? Mm-hmm. Now you understand that doing what we do, there's money. Okay, so now that there's money, now you really need to take a deep look and
how can you get that like consistent flow of income doing the work you do?
Exactly.
And it gets very stressful, and you know, it's a lot of people will break under that pressure.
Yep.
It's not something that comes easy. You know, like we've talked about it many times on the podcast where, you know, like you see people and they live this really nice life. And yes, you can get that life, but behind closed doors, it's very stressful. Like people are constantly thinking about like, what is the next thing? You know, what's going to be the next viral, you know, like dance or challenge or whatever it is. You're constantly
the next sensation.
Exactly. Constantly having to stay like on top of that ongoing trend. But it's very hard because sometimes you have your own problems that you got to deal with.
Yeah. And when it comes down to money and material wealth, yes, having money helps. Having money makes you comfortable. Having money allows for you to not worry about certain things that are there.
Yeah.
But as someone who has had money and made money doing what I did, when I had money was also the time that I was the most stressed and the most unhappy that I had ever been.
Mm-hmm.
They always say, oh, be appreciative of every moment. I was very appreciative of the moment that I made money. I was very appreciative. It was a very beautiful moment for me. This is the first time in my family that someone has made this amount of money doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that. I was able to accomplish that. But it was also the most unhappiest time of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it was, oh shit, I did it. Now what? Okay, now I know there's a means to make money doing what I'm doing, but now what?
Yeah, like going back to that clip when he first said, I believe he said something was money can buy a house, but it cannot buy you a home.
Yeah.
Where like you can buy the house, but it's not a home. Like the term home is like the place where you're most comfortable with, like it's the thing, it's that place where you can go home and you can just let go of the day's stress. Money cannot buy a home. You can buy like a nice, like a beautiful 16-bedroom house, but that 16-bedroom house at the end of the day, if you
it feels empty.
It's very empty. And I know that you know how that feels.
Yeah. Because, like when I had money was so the time that I had money was the time that I also had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the hardest time. Because when you have money, my mentor at that time, the first thing she tells me, and like this is like a $5,000 check that I got. And I remember $5,000, she comes up to me and she goes, what are you going to do with it? And I told her, well, I'm going to put it in the bank. She goes, don't. She goes, go spend it. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is not what my parents taught me to do. This is not what any Asian parent teaches their kid.
Yeah.
You get money, you go put it in the bank and you leave it.
Especially that one paycheck. That's like the biggest paycheck that you've gotten, you know, like.
But then I understood what she was trying to do now. I got $5,000 and I bought my first ever MacBook. MacBook spec'd out, everything beautiful. The best MacBook that I had ever had.
I remember.
It's lasted me up until, just recently.
Yeah, like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I remember, I remember going with you and you were so excited about how, like you're finally, it's not that you hated the MacBook that that went through this journey with you. It's just, it was really ready to kick bucket. And so you were like, finally, like something, an investment for the future. Mm-hmm. And then it's like you said, money comes, money goes. It really was like that.
I never understood what my mentor was trying to teach me. At that time, the first thing I hear from her is, go spend it all. So I'm thinking it's outrageous, but she's my mentor. I'm going to listen. She has been the one that has taught me up to that point, so why not listen? So I listened, and I spent it. And then the next time I see her, the first thing she asked me is, what'd you spend it on? I told her I got a new MacBook so that I could work. She goes, that's called an investment. You're investing in yourself. And I'm like, oh. Oh, shit. So she goes, how much money did you spend? So I'm like, oh, well, I spent almost like $5,000. She's like, good. So now you understand how much it takes to invest in yourself. Now go make more so that you can invest in yourself. And then that's the first time that money was taught to me that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying that our parents are stupid. I'm saying that our parents are financially illiterate. Yeah. They don't understand the financial world that exists right now. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand it. That was the first time that someone literally flat out just sat there with me and was like, this is how it works. Mm-hmm. Now that you spent $5,000, you have nothing in your bank account. Now you know what it's like to have money. That's what money is like. It comes and it goes. So now that you understand how fast it goes, you better work 100 times harder to make sure that more comes before you spend it. Mm-hmm. And that was the first time in my life that I was ever exposed to money in that way.
Because no one, it's like we keep saying is that no one's ever taught us how to spend money like that. Excuse me, every paycheck that we get, it goes right into the bank. But your mentor was like, spend it.
Yeah.
Spend it. So now you know what it's like to have money and to not worry about, like what happens after. But now that you spend it, what are you going to do?
Yeah. And that was the first ever time in my life where I started to see money very differently. Like it's funny because she taught me money this way. She goes, there's broke people money and there's our people money. And I'm like, okay, so what's broke people money? She goes, broke people money is your money. Money that you work for, paycheck to paycheck, it goes into the bank or it goes to every bill that you have. You have nothing at the end of it. Rich people paycheck is money comes, we invest it in ourselves so that we can make 2 times more than what we make. So she, like the way she explained to me was, you made 5,000, you spent 5,000. So now you need to make 10, because now that you understand you're worth $5,000, you need to make 10 so that you have 5,000 to invest in yourself and another 5,000 to put away. And that's how she started to teach me. She started to teach me self-value. Money couldn't buy me self-value. And that was the first lesson that she ever taught me. And it goes right back to the clip, money can buy you all these things, but there's also things that money cannot buy you. And the one thing that I learned that money can't buy you was self-value. I learned self-value from my mentor, who sat me down and said, you're worth $5,000. To me, I was worth a McDonald's paycheck before that. Yeah. How hard do we have to work? I remember when I used to work at McDonald's, it used to be a fucking horrible time.
You wouldn't even see $2,000, like barely, if you were working.
Man, like a good paycheck was over $1,000, like just a little over $1,000, maybe like $1,100, $1,200,
and that's just every other week.
Yeah,
every other week you just working.
But that's also you putting in time. So time is money, and she started to teach me that concept of time is money. So how do you make sure that time is spent well so you can make better money? Because that was the first time she tells me, first time I made $5,000, she goes, now you know how hard it was to make 5,000. This is where rich people are smarter than poor people. You poor people work the same amount the first time that you made that 5,000 the second time. So if you put in 8 hours, you're going to put another 8 hours. Now, rich people, they put in 8 hours, they're going to figure out a way to do that in 6. That's the difference between poor people and rich people. And that was the first time in my life where I was like, what the fuck? We're taught as kids, go work.
Yeah, our parents always told us work that 9 to 5.
Yeah, my mom was like, you want shoes? Go work. You want a phone? Go work. So I had to put in hours. But the hours that I was putting in, 8 hours every day, sometimes I clock in 12 hours at McDonald's consecutively. I did back-to-back shifts just to make enough money to put myself through school the first year. I paid cash the first year of college. And then after that, I needed to, I was grateful that my parents bought me my first MacBook for school. And then a camera for school. But then now I started to understand the value of what money was for poor people.
Yeah.
I saw what my parents did for me as self-investment. Yes, it's self-investment to a very small percentage. Now, what my mentor taught me was self-investment to a very big percentage now. Now, this percentage was something that was long-lasting. How do you make it last long? How do you make it so that this money that you have stays with you and not fights against you? Because that was the first time where she goes, this is how money works. When it comes into your pocket, it's going to go out. That's just how money works. That's why money exists in the world. Rich people, money comes in, money goes out. Now, where it goes out to, you have control about where it goes to. And that was the first time where I heard that. I have control about where my money goes. I had never heard that. Up to that point, my money went to my credit card. My money went to paying debt. My money went to, putting aside for OSAP.
Yeah. Like,
that's where money went to for us as poor people.
Like responsibilities really like kicked us hard. Well, kicked you hard, during that time. And that's like the Asian mindset that we have, that we have to pay off all the debt first before we can even go and think about buying something, like just spending on ourselves, because spending on ourselves wasn't kind of like, I mean, for me, it was kind of like, okay, like if you like saved up, you just go, spend it, like spend, like just be nice to yourself. But I know most Asians are like, no, like just save.
Yeah. And that was the first time in my life where I'd finally heard someone say that to me. Someone put money in this perspective that I could finally understand. Because as growing up, we only hear the Asian way. But what we see is totally different. We see our white friends go on vacations to Hawaii, to Cuba.
Yeah.
We see them go on vacation to Niagara Falls and get to go to museums and all that kind of shit. We don't.
Yeah.
Because we are poor. We cannot afford that.
Yeah, I had like a lot of friends that, were going to Disney every Christmas to New Year's, like during the Christmas break, going to Disney. And then during the summer, they would go to Cuba for, like however long, but they were going to Cuba, like 3-4 times the year on top of their, Disney trip. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, man, like, you guys got money to blow. Like us Asians, we don't think about going on, vacation like that. The first time my parents ever spent money, I guess, like compared to, like just for me, like on like a big scale, was when I was in grade 10 and we went on an overnight trip to Great Wolf Lodge, because I went on a school trip and I said, hey, like it would be great. And we went maybe like 2 days before Christmas, but that was like the biggest amount of thing that we ever spent money on. Like that was it. So it's crazy like the different perspective that you have learned from your mentor, like just the simplest thing like that, like you getting that big paycheck and her telling you to spend it. Like I feel like it turned your world. Like it was like a 180.
Yeah, no, my parents would have whooped my ass. As Asian parents, they would have been like, why the fuck are you spending so recklessly?
Yep.
But this is the first time where my mentor sat me down and was like, go spend it. Go spend it so that you know the value of money, because that's what money is. It comes and goes. So don't put all your value in the money. Put your value in the time. Put your value in the hard work. When you can do that, then you understand something very differently. The value of money truly. It's just like the episode name. Money can't buy heart. That's what she taught me. Heart. So that money cannot take my heart. Money can only be used as a way to make your life comfortable. Even when you're poor, money is to make your life comfortable as it can be. And I was lucky enough to have been taught that. This is the first time where, I started to see what money could be for poor people.
Yeah, like I feel like when watching the clip and listening to it, it's like the title, like money can't buy heart, because it's like you said, it can make you comfortable, but that's just half of it. The other half really is you finding like I don't know if it's like the right word, like meaning to the money, like as in like, okay, I can buy a house, okay, now, but that's just a house. It's like you said, it's lonely, it's empty. But now if you're a good person, maybe you can find, like you can have your family move in, or you can find a partner to make it a home. You're putting value in something that money can buy. Exactly. And so when you can put value in something that money can buy, it becomes something more beautiful than what it originally is. Because without value, money becomes the shell. Yes. And you're going to live in an empty shell. I could buy 1 and 2 cameras here, but if I don't have value in why I bought 2 cameras, then why buy it at all? Yeah.
The value is that we can put stuff like this together. The value is that everything that I own is a piece of, it is valuable to me in a way.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense. It's like, to people, that could just be a couch, or, that could be a chair. These could just be lights. But it's like you said, this is an investment. That's the couch that, we, for example, we bought together with our own money. We worked hard. These are the lights that we, worked hard to get that money so we could put into, production like this. Like I feel like finding meanings in like the small things, really makes a huge difference, and really is such a huge impact on how a person can, like, how do you say this, like, it's like you said, put value on the money, not in a sense where, like, it rules your life.
Yeah, but it becomes a way to guide your life.
Exactly.
Like, and a really good way to think of it is, like, when I bought that mic came with my Focusrite audio interface. And every time I look at that mic and every time I look at my audio interface, it's a reminder of why I continue to be a creative, why I have to be a creative, because I love it. I enjoy it. It's why I invest money into my job. If you ask me, do I have money? I don't have money. I'm broke as fuck, because all my money goes back into the company to invest, to try and make something so that I can either uplift you, me, or the people that join this company and show them something better.
Yeah. Like, I always see it, like, sometimes, my mom's always like, when we go and we, like, do things, nice things for my mom, like, like buying hot dogs or sausages, or, gonna go pick up some things that she needs, she's always like, oh, don't worry about it, like, you guys don't have money. But it's like, it's not about us not having money. We have money, but the money goes somewhere else so that it could bring in more money, so we can go and help the people around us, like our family, and our friends, like the people who truly need it, and who's here for the ride with us the entire way.
Yeah. Like, and this is something that, like, when it comes down to money is, there was this old saying where money only lifts the mask that the human wears. It only makes you more you. So if you are a greedy person, and now you have money, it only feeds onto your greed. But now if you have money and you're a good person, money is used in a way that only amplifies your good heart.
Yeah, it's almost like money is power. And if you have power, how would you use that power? Would you go and you help the poor, help people that are in need, that are hungry, homeless? Or would you go and you do something that could really hurt people? Money is, it might sound weird, but to me, that's how, like, I equate it. Money is power, because you have, the money to go and do things with it.
Yeah.
It's just how you really, how you see it and how you decide to use it.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, if you have a good heart, you're an amazing person.
Yeah.
If you have a bad heart, I can't really say anything to, like, justify, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, because it comes with experience, seeing what money can do for people. You and I, we've seen what money does to greedy people.
Yeah.
And it really feeds into their greed. It feeds into their animosity against them being poor. And it becomes some way to rage.
No, it's sad. It's sad when I see how, like, you have the money to, help people, or at least, if not help the people, outside of your family, help concentrate on your family, like, help them to be maybe in a better situation, or if, like, they're in a tough place, but they don't. And it's like I said, I can't really go and say anything about it. It's just sad when I see how money can really change a person. It really can.
Yeah. And, like, take it from me, like, money and power are the two things that amplify a person for who they really are. But now money and power are also the two things that could drastically change a person to be different and be someone totally different.
Yeah.
And uncover things that they didn't know about themselves. You know, for me, you know, I was greedy. There was a time in my life where all I wanted was power. And I had that power. I had it at the grasp of my hand. Everywhere I went, people knew who we were. Everywhere I went, people knew the work that we put in. People recognized what we did. That was power. For the first time in my life, I felt that kind of power that I had never seen before. But to be humbled and be put back in my place was like, oh shit. Like, was I that kind of a person? Was I that bad of a person?
Yeah, you know, like some people, it's exactly like how you say it. When they have money, then it really amplifies them. But sometimes, it's like I said, it's not all bad, because if you're the type of person where you really need to learn things the hard way, you'll really learn it, and it's gonna be really hard. But honestly, it could change your world. You know, like you could see that side of you, and when you really hit rock bottom, if you know you start spending like crazy, then you'll really realize how badly you fucked up. And you know, I feel like when that happened, you learned to be a different person. You saw yourself. It's like looking in the mirror and you're seeing yourself for the first time after, you know, having this fame and success, and you're like, who the fuck am I?
Yeah.
You know?
There was a moment where I looked at myself and I knew that my parents no longer recognized who I was. And so that was what scared me the most, was, oh shit, like, am I really this person? I was that kind of person, and it scared me. And so from that day on, I promised myself I would never do that again. I would never, ever, ever let money and power get to my head. And, you know, and it's something that I keep to myself. It's something that I revisit over and over. Yeah. So that I understand what I did that hurt people, what I did that hurt me, what I did that hurt my parents, what I did that was greedy. And so when I revisit these things, I understand, oh, I can't do that. That no matter what, I have to work hard. That even when I work hard and there is some sort of recognition, that I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for everyone else. Right now, everyone needs it. And so let's do it for them. And it allows for me to, in turn, repent to the people that I wronged. You know, like, I know that I hurt a lot of people. And my greed and my want for that feeling took over. But because of it, and now where it's led me in my life, I'm grateful for where I am. Now, money isn't a thing for me. Money isn't something that I look to and say, I need it.
Yeah.
Money is something that makes my life comfortable. And I'm going to work very hard at my company to allow for my company to help other people. And if money comes, then let's invest it into all of that. Let's invest it into why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's what I do now. You know, like, money only amplifies who you really are.
Yeah, you know, because there are times where, like, excuse me, you know, like, I know that, you know, maybe it's not in our budget for the week, you know what I mean? Like, we just can't, you know, like, afford to, you know, spare like the extra change or something like that. But if your parents need it, you know, like, or family, or like a friend, like, I've seen it. I've seen you pull out, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 for the friend, and I'm sitting there and I tell you, I'm like, you know, like, you remember the conversation too.
I remember.
I told you, you know, like, it's not, you know, I love you for your heart, but at the same time, you know, like, it's, you sometimes I feel like, you know, like, do you really need to help them, you know, like, just because I have this like weird like sixth sense that really just kicks in sometimes.
For
But
me,
like, no, but what I'm trying to get at is that, like, you have such a big heart, like, after learning everything, that you're such a giving person. Like, by no means am I stingy, you know, like, but sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, hubby, like, you really need to think about it. But you have such a big and giving heart that I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, like you are such a different person since, since when I first met you.
You know why? Because for me, I wish someone like me would have came into my life
and helped you
and helped me, teach me not to be greedy. And if that meant allowing them to be greedy to teach them, then great, let's do it. And that's what I do. That was a lot of money. But I knew that the person that I gave it to wasn't going to stay around. But I did it because I know that in this world, when we need help,
we really need help.
Exactly. And sometimes just you need help.
Yeah.
How many times do people fucking cry and beg God at night to have a break? And sometimes it's one of those things that my mom and my dad taught me. Once it's out of your hands, don't expect for it to come back. It's the same thing with me. I don't expect the money that I give to people to ever come back into my hands, ever.
Yeah.
What I do expect is that the money becomes a lesson, whether it's a good lesson or a bad lesson. Because every lesson that gets into your hand, whether it's good or bad, will lead to another lesson. And that's it. I just want to be able to teach people.
Yeah. As we're talking about this, it sounds so silly, but I was thinking about that drama that we just watched, Squid Game.
Yes, Squid Game is a great...
If anybody's listening, there's a drama that just came out like last week. It's a Korean drama called Squid Game. I think it's like 9 episodes only.
Yeah.
But it was such a good drama because, so just a quick summary, it's a game. And but everybody that's playing is people that are really in need of money. They're in a tough situation, or they gambled, or they, like I said, they're just in a really bad place that they can't earn the money and they really need to. But each time someone dies, they're worth like 10 million won or something like that.
Yeah.
And so you're going through these 9 episodes and people are dying left and right, like in like the first like 10 minutes, like half the people die. But like as we were talking about this, I kept thinking about that drama, because it really, I feel like the drama fit in so well with this episode, because at the beginning you can see that everybody has this like pure intention of of needing the money to help them, or like they're like really shitty people. But then as they're going, people's hearts change along the way as more money is being added into the pile as each person dies. And this drama really
amplifies that.
Yeah.
It amplifies human greed. Human greed is everywhere. Human greed is something that is in all of us. To say that there is good in you and only good is a lie. Every person has greed, whether it be money, whether it be health, wealth, whether it be anything in your life. There is always going to be a sense of greed.
Yeah, like
Squid Game was a reflection of our human greed. And that's why I love that show very much, was because what it taught us was that we would do anything and we wouldn't know the repercussions of it.
Yeah, like that one episode, like, so I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to get into, too deep into it, but you and I both know what I'm going to say. That one guy, like, they're the pair, but then he goes and he tricks this guy. And I felt so much pain when that happened, because he was in a situation not because of him, because he just wasn't getting paid by his boss. And he had so much trust in, like, his partner, like his whom he thought was a friend. And then, the need for money really got to him. And then at the end, game over. Like, I was so sad, like that entire show. Like, I truly, truly, truly recommend anybody that's listening to please watch that. It's such a good drama. Like,
watch it, but watch it and analyze the scenes.
Yeah.
Because it is a real reflection of human greed, of our human heart.
Mm-hmm.
Look, everyone goes into it clean. You know, we make mistakes in our life and we end up in a place where sometimes we feel like there's nothing left and that now this is the only way to deal with this. And so now the only way to deal with it, we go on and we do it and we do it and we do it. And then by the end of it, how much humanity have we lost for wealth, for money?
Yeah.
Money can't buy a heart. Money cannot buy the human heart. What money can do, though, is amplify what you really are.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, at the end of the show, you know, like, he won the money, but he was just so broken.
Spoiler, she spoiled it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. No. I'm just saying, like, he was so broken by everything that happened.
Stop. We cannot spoil that part. So.
But it's as expected, though.
It's
I'm not going to go more, but
it's what human greed looks like in a form, so that you know, and I was able to relate to it because I was in that point where I had it all, but now, as much as I had it all, I also had nothing at the same time,
mm-hmm.
and all I could do was give to people. All I could do was help people now, you know, like. I remember like going to Toronto and like a homeless man would come to me and ask me, and yeah, I'd just give it to him. And like my friends would be like, why would you do that?
You know what? It reminds me, we talked about this, I think one other time in one of our podcasts where we were, when you were still living here and I was living back at my mom's and we hadn't moved in yet.
Mm-hmm.
It was late. It was like in like the fall and it was really cold. And I dropped you off.
Oh, yeah.
And then, wait, I don't know what it was, but I remember
I took the bus home.
Yeah. And then you saw like a homeless man who was really cold and, you know, you don't have anything. You're just wearing a t-shirt underneath and just that sweater. But you saw that he really needed it and you gave it to him. Yeah. Like, it's really just like that.
You know why? Because... for me, I can afford to buy another one. And I understood that. I understood that I could afford to buy another one, to put another one on my back. Mm-hmm. But these people, they're out of luck. And sometimes you just need to bump them a little bit and give them a little bit of that luck and just say, hey, it's okay. Hey, it's all good. That's it.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes, you know, like for me, like I put a 20 into that jacket so that he wouldn't have it. So that this way he didn't feel bad for me giving him a 20 and a jacket. But because I know what that felt like to have nothing, there was just this feeling like I wish someone would have done this for me when I had nothing. Mm-hmm. That is just as simple as that was. Sometimes I wish if I were in that shoe or when I was in that shoe, someone gave me something, mm-hmm. just a little bit to give me a little bit of hope. To give me a little bit of a smile when it was too hard to smile. Because in situations like that, now the smile is asking for a lot.
Yeah, you know, like it's painful because you just think about, you know, what it is that you have gone through to. Sometimes you could be like, you know, it's like they always say, you know, like one moment you could be having like a beautiful home, a family. The next you've lost your family, you've lost your home, and now you're on the streets.
Yep.
You know, like things can change in a blink of an eye and it's really sad.
Yeah, no, it's devastating, right? Because at that point now, you didn't ask for it. Yeah. And yeah, maybe we did something to deserve what we have. But at that point, some people just need a break. Whether, you know, like I always say this is, look, no matter how bad something that you have done is, we need to be able to find some sort of forgiveness so that this person may heal. Mm-hmm. And I say that now because I was forgiven and I was given time to heal. And because I was given time to heal, I was able to have beautiful relationships that, you know, I cherish with all of my heart. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's all they need. These people, that's all they really need.
Mm-hmm.
to be given a chance when chances aren't there anymore. Like, like a homeless man once told me, chances aren't by chance. Chances are actually created by everyone that had that chance. The most beautiful thing that I had ever heard. And like when I got and these are things that you learn from people like them. You look at it, we are given chances. We have loving parents, we have money, we have clothes, we have food. These are our chances in life. There are people out there that don't have those chances. So why can't we just give them a little so that they have a fair chance? They're not asking for a lot. They're not, but you can give them a little. And yeah, and this is very controversial when I say it this way, right? I was always questioned by my friends why I gave money to homeless people because, they could use it for drugs. I've said it before on this podcast, but whether they use it for drugs or whether they use it for whatever else, that's up to them. The moment it's out of my hands, I gave them a fair chance to fix their life.
Yeah. Like I guess I could say I'm one of those people in a sense where like it's not that it's like I said, it's not that I'm stingy with money. I just feel like there are people that really are in, like desperate need, like and they're really just, they just weren't lucky.
Yeah.
They really didn't have that chance. And there are others that go and they abuse that kindness from other people, and they really just, I don't want to put it like this, but like just to put it in terms of, they really ruin it for the others that really need it, you know? Because it's like you said, like you're giving them the money out of the kindness of your heart. It's really up to them what they do with it. But it makes me sad when like there are other people that need it and they just, like I said, they're just wrong place, wrong time. And
no, I understand because like when I look at people that are down on their luck, yeah, there's times where I look at them and you judge. Judging is human nature. To say you don't judge is a lie. Just judge in silence. And yeah, we all judge in silence. But sometimes I have to put away that judgment for every single person. It's like that one thing that I used to say to you, right? Is I help people because I helped you and I helped your sister. You guys were strangers to me too. And if I could help you and your sister and I could give you guys that second chance, then why can't I do that for other people? Why can't I see other people have second chances? Mm-hmm. Money can't buy that. Money can't buy chances for people. Money can't buy people a second chance at redeeming their heart. We're all bad. You just need to know how bad before you become good. That's it. Like I grew up watching a lot of anime as a kid. It's like Dragon Ball. Piccolo was a bad guy. But Piccolo was also that one guy that raised Gohan and taught Gohan and loved Gohan. And he sacrificed his life for Gohan. Money can't buy you that kind of a heart. It might be an anime, but I guarantee the people that listen and understand the love connection that Piccolo has for Gohan, money can't buy that. That comes with a heart. Yeah. The truth of your heart. We as humans are bad people. Quick, done, simple. We are bad. But how good are you? That's the question. Everyone's bad, but how good are you? People always ask the wrong question. How good is this person? It's not about how good they are. It's about how bad you are. It's about how bad you are. Can you get better from there though? Everyone just needs a chance. You know, it's like that person that like rats on their friend. Oh, well, to that friend's gonna look at them like, oh, you ratted on me. But to that guy, he was trying to do the best that he could for his friend so that his friend didn't get in trouble. Same thing. Some people are gonna see it another way, and another guy's gonna see it the other way. That's it. Money cannot buy a heart. Money can buy you comfortability in life. Money can assist, but money cannot lead. If money leads, you lose your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your heart to the realities that exist in the world. You can buy a car, but you know, it's like I've always said to you, right? It's these arrogant people that buy cars to show off. Okay? I know a lot of car people. They're good people. They love cars because that's what they love to fix and that's what they love to ride. Great. When you have a hobby like that, whatever, it's fine. But now when you buy a car for the sole purpose of showing off how big your wallet is, now it's to those people that I ask, why? What's the point?
Yeah.
On the road, you and I drive the same speed limit. It's a 60 road. I don't care if you're in a Ferrari. You and I, my Toyota is gonna drive 60. Your Ferrari is also gonna drive 60. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You showing off doesn't do anything. You know, like when it comes down to money, when it comes down to what money does, it all comes down to the person. Everyone has to be given a second chance. But you got to let them run out of their first chance first. You got to let them run with that. I was lucky and grateful that the many people that let me run out my first chance also gave me a second chance.
It's really hard to find second chances. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Especially if you've broken like their trust, because trust, it's like you've said it to me all the time and on the podcast. Try to get a trust. Once you break it, it's hard to gain back. Trust is like, it's like glass.
Yep.
It really is.
It's fragile.
It is. You know, because it's like putting their eggs in your basket, hoping that, you know, you can take care of their eggs.
Yep.
But then shit happens and it's gone.
And then it becomes now what?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? You going to give up on it, or are you going to work 100 times harder?
Yeah.
You know, for me, I worked 5 years hard to gain back my relationship with these people that I love and care for. And even now, it's a struggle with maintaining certain relationships. But we do it because we have to.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it just works. Money cannot buy you your relationship. Money only shows them who you truly are. You know, like, I don't care if my friends have money. I don't care if my friends don't have money. What I care about are my friends good people? Are my friends people that when I look to, I can say, oh, you're a good influence on me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're young, whether you're old, doesn't matter. Everyone's an influence in my life. Just how are you an influence?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, today I emailed an old librarian that I used to be very close with when I was in elementary school.
Oh, I forgot her name. She's the one who...
Mrs. Wallace from A.R. Kaufman.
Yes.
Bless her heart. She's such a beautiful and loving woman. And I emailed her today. And I said, like, I wrote in the email, like, I found her email on the school website, and I emailed her and I said, hello, Mrs. Wallace. I don't know if you remember me, but my name's Denang. I'm now 29, and I used to be at A.R. Kaufman back in the mid-2000s. I'm now married, and I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate everything that you did for me. She messaged me back, And it is something that, like, at 29, you think about and you're like, ooh, it's people like this that, like, money cannot buy. Money cannot buy you memories. Money cannot buy you time. Money cannot. It's like he says in the clip, money cannot buy you time. Money doesn't buy you these things. It's because I was born in a low to middle class that I went to that school and I met that woman. Money didn't buy me that. Money made me go to that school because I couldn't,
Yeah.
And I'm appreciative of that because it's these memories and these moments that I got with these people that I've interacted with in my life. She was the one that made me feel not left out. I couldn't go to field trips. I couldn't go to Wonderland with everyone. I couldn't go to the ROM with everyone. I couldn't afford it. But she was that one lady that always was like, oh, it's okay. You can come stay with me for the day. And I loved it. I loved staying with her. I'll come so early to school so I could be with her. I could stay late after school to be with her. I learned the Dewey Decimal System because of her. I learned how to put away books in the right order using the Dewey Decimal System. That's how nerdy I was as a kid. It's these things that as a kid now, you know, at 29, you look at it and you're kind of just like, I loved going to school back then because, not because of friends, but because of the librarian. I loved chilling with her. Money can't buy you that. Money cannot buy you these priceless moments. At 29, I'm able to share with an old librarian 20-something years later, like 15 or so something years later, and say to her, hey, I'm married now, and I just wanted to say thank you. That's beautiful to me. To me, that's the most beautiful thing in the world. To be able to say something like that to someone that has influenced my life how many years ago? This is like mid-2000s. I was in elementary school back then. You know, like what, 2004? 2003, 2004? So it's these moments that are like, oh, money will never be able to buy me something like that. It's these moments that, you know, like money, because I didn't have money, opportunities opened up. But you cannot look at yourself and pity yourself because you don't have money. You cannot pity yourself because you look at some guy and you're like, that guy has money and I want money. I want to be like that. No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you put yourself in a level that's like, why are you looking down on yourself? It's the people. When have you ever heard an underdog story where a guy was rich, came from rich, and became more rich? Donald Trump, no one likes the guy. I'm just saying. It's true. Like, there's no underdog story like Donald Trump that comes, I'm rich, I'm more rich. No,
I mean,
no one gives a shit.
He's made quite a few enemies.
People care about the underdogs. People care about, you know, like there's this one guy that I watched. Oh, fuck, what's his name? It's that one guy. It's a guy that worked out like, fuck. I loved, I can't remember his name.
Is he the black rapper?
No, he's a black guy that went to the army as a kid because he was fat and he didn't want to be fat. He didn't want to be a failure in life. So he went to the army and he like fucking like.
Oh, I think I know. Did he become a motivational speaker?
He has a book and everything.
I think I know who you're talking about. I can't put my name on it either.
But it's people like him that are the underdogs that have a story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you got to leverage. Everyone's got a voice. Now, how do you use that voice, though? Everyone's got the same story. All us fucking Asian kids have the same story, but now how are you going to tell it differently? If you tell me, oh, my dad did this, well, I heard like 90 different kids say that too. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your mom and your dad did. It's the same with mine. I come from good parents. I come from a good environment. Come from a good home. What makes me different, though, was I fucked up in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me tell you the story of my fuck-ups. And let me tell you the story of how my parents successfully raised their child. That's the story. It's a beautiful story. Personally, for me, I think it's one of the most beautiful stories. Everyone's got this sad sob story. But I want to hear about the ones where they come from good families and they fuck up their life. And now, how do you make it out? Money doesn't buy you experiences like that. Money doesn't buy you shit like that. It's these things that as you grow older, you start to understand. That money doesn't buy you happiness. That's why so many people leave their 9-to-5s and do what they want to do in their life. Because even if they're not making as much as they are in their 9-to-5, they're happy doing what they're doing.
Yeah, like there's this this Instagrammer who is in Toronto. I think her Instagram handle is Cake by Julie or Julia.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been following her for a few years now, okay? And she's a baker. And like I said, I've been following her for like maybe like 3 or 4 years now. And I saw her post the other day, saying that she was finally going to like pursue like her business as a full-time job. Now she's going to register full-time job, and she quit her actual like normal Asian 9-to-5 job. And I was like, wow, like she's like, I'm much happier now, and now that I feel that there's a sense of security, I'm going to do it. And I'm like, dang, I've been following her for a long time, and to see that I was so like so happy, like just so happy.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Money doesn't buy you that.
Yeah. It takes a long time to get there, though. Just from your own personal experience.
It took me so long to get to where I am, but I'm happy. Time is not something that we should look at and waste.
Mm-hmm.
While we're still young, I'm 29. And I've only recently started this path of being happy, of trying to be happy, doing what I'm doing. It's working, but at 29, I guarantee I'll probably stumble a couple more years, and then mid-30s I'll be happy doing what I want to do. Yeah, at that time I probably will. But that's the truth of it, is that everyone's got a destination. Everyone has their own time, though. So don't go and compare your life with other people's lives. Don't go compare your money with other people's money. Don't go compare your career with other people's career. That's the problem with how we grew up. And that's why everyone from my generation's fucked up. Because, that person's a doctor. That person's a lawyer. That person owns a business. And then, there's me. I'm still doing the same shit that I'm doing. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're doing what you love to do, that you're content, that you're happy, and that every day you wake up, you're going to be happy doing what you're doing. That's what matters. I wanted to say thank you to everyone that, will tune in and is tuned into this podcast. This podcast was something that, fell into place. I stumbled across a clip and I really loved what he had to say, and I think it was a good conversation starter. And I hope that many other people have this conversation and have this internal conversation with yourself, where you talk to yourself and you say that not having money is okay. To be comfortable with the life that you have, to be comfortable with the life that you were given, but to not be content with where you are. Work hard for yourself so that you can be happy, not so that you can have money and find happiness. Money does not lead to happiness. The happiness has to start with you. Once again, I wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mochi Love. Thank you. I think our new stream schedule, we've been trying to figure it out this week, but I think what we're going to do is Sunday evening. I don't know what time. What time do you think? Like Sunday?
Honestly, I'm not even sure, because
I'd say Sunday, maybe like 5 to 7 o'clock there, somewhere between there.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know like an hour ahead. Like I
Yeah.
said, follow us on our social media down below, right there. So, no, if you follow us, we'll definitely let you guys know, at least a day ahead what time, Like I said, I can't say for sure because our family always has events going on, our last minute things. So it's never definite set in stone.
The stream schedule we will try and figure out, but the regular release for the audio and the videos for YouTube will continue to be
Tuesday
and Friday at 9 a.m. This way people have it for their work days and whatnot.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much. It means so much to have you guys listen. Thank you, Mochi Love. I appreciate you supporting the stream, supporting us.
Yes, thank you for staying like the entire hour.
We do this because we love it, and we're glad that there are people that even listen.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah, go ahead and follow us on all our social media links. They're on the screen, and then our personal ones. My Instagram is Danang_statues. Yours?
Crystal V_98.
Yep.
I think that should be it. Or you could follow us on the Statues Podcast, and you'll find us.
Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.